HOAs, homeowners associations, that's what we're going to talk about today. Stay tuned. Welcome everybody. So if this is your first time to my channel, my name is Ashley. I'm a real estate agent up in Everett, Washington with Keller Williams, and I do a lot of work with buyers, sellers, helping them get their home sold or get into their new home. And right now I am doing a series looking at what the heck is going on with condos. So just everything condo related. Before I get started with the video today, I do want to sort of send out a little call here. So I'm working with a buyer who is looking for a brick house built sometime in the 1930s or 1940s. So if you own a brick house or know someone that owns a brick house who's thinking about selling, please get them in touch with me and we'll see what we can work out. Okay, so on to the video. So what do I want to talk about today? I'm talking about HOAs, okay? Another name for these would be homeowners associations. Sometimes they're also called community associations or common ownership communities, okay? So there's a lot of little different names. Most commonly here in Everett and sort of in the Seattle area, you're gonna know them as HOAs or homeowners associations. And probably you've heard about them in reference to like HOA fees. And so like, how much money do I have to pay the HOA when I buy my condo or my townhouse or my co-op? So I want to talk about what they actually do and who they are. So what the condo or homeowners association does is they comprise, like the entire association is everyone who owns a condo or a townhouse or a co-op in that community. They're all part of the homeowners association typically, so they all become a part of the homeowners association. So then there's another layer of that, and that is called the board of directors. Okay, so now the board of directors can be elected. They're usually volunteer positions, and these people are owners in the community as well. And what they do is they have authority in the CC&Rs. And so those would be like the governing documents of the community itself, okay? And so basically what they do is they have a responsibility to make sure that they're managing the finances. They make sure that they are like protecting all of the sort of like common, real, and intangible assets of the community. And the other thing that they are tasked with is making sure that the actual governing documents are enforced, okay? So they have a lot of responsibility and they do have some authority. So basically what ends up happening typically is you have the board of directors, and then there's a decision made about how to sort of like manage all of the like normal things that happen with the community and the association. And so this will be a separate video, but basically a lot of places decide whether or not they're going to self-manage, so whether or not the actual little community makes all of the management decisions. So meaning how are they going to get maintenance done? How are they going to manage their finances and all of that stuff? Or whether or not they're going to hire an outside agency to do their management, okay? So that'll be a separate video. So basically what they do is the HOA and the board of directors, they come together, and usually this is outlined in the bylaws, like sort of like how things are passed. So like how many people need to be there in a meeting in order to vote on something, or to make a decision on, okay, should we spend this money? Should we increase our dues? All of that stuff. Okay, so that happens in these meetings. And the schedule for those meetings is also going to be outlined in the bylaws typically. All right, so now probably the thing that you're waiting for is what the heck do these HOA fees cover? Because sometimes they can be like $600 a month. Most typically, they're sort of in that kind of like $200 to $400 range. Depending on where you're buying and how much the condo costs and what all the common amenities are. So like if it has a pool, it might be a little bit more expensive. If it has like a little gym, it'll be a little more expensive and such. But those are just all these additional sort of like really community specific things that would be taken into account with your HOA fees. But most commonly, HOA fees are used for maintenance of common areas, and depending on how the CC&Rs are written and the bylaws are described and everything, you will also be able to figure out like whether or not the association fees also cover things like replacing the windows, the doors, things on the exterior. This might include like roofs, siding, all of these other things. Okay, it could possibly also include plumbing, so it sort of depends. So you'd have to sort of see that. It's all kind of like a case-by-case basis, and you know, what I would recommend is that you read those documents carefully if you're considering buying a condo, and also perhaps have an attorney look at it, because sometimes these documents are not written in a way that is like most clear. Like sometimes it's just like maybe not in there, but they're doing that. So it's really quite tricky. The other things that the HOA fee goes towards would be like maintenance of the parking lot, striping the parking lot. So when you see that they've got the lines for the parking spots, when they number them. This would also include like tree and landscape maintenance, all of those things. And then of course, if they hire an outside agency to manage it, then that would also include the fee to actually hire the management company. Okay, so the HOA fees actually include a lot of different things, and I'm going to do a completely separate video looking specifically at like HOA fees, what they tend to cover, and kind of like bringing it all together so it all makes sense. And that is basically it. So the HOA is typically comprised of everybody that owns a unit in that community. The board of directors is a smaller set of people that is usually elected. They're usually volunteers, and they have the responsibility and their authority lies within the CC&Rs, and they have the responsibility to make sure that those CC&Rs are being executed or enforced. And basically HOAs or like the community can be managed or non-managed by an outside company. And that is basically the video. So if you like the video, hit the like button. Please subscribe to my channel, follow me on Facebook, and check out my website, ashleybolden.com, and I will see you again soon, YouTube.